Hello, and welcome back to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading Leviticus chapter 17. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron, and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Israel, that killeth an ox, or lamb, or goat, in the camp, or that killeth it out of the camp, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He hath shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people, to the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto the Lord. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. And thou shalt say unto them, Whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers which sojourn among you, that offereth a burnt offering or sacrifice, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer it unto the Lord, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. And every soul that eateth that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. Then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. Summarizing Leviticus chapter 17, God creates a permanent statute that killing an ox, lamb, or goat with the intention for an offering, but without bringing it to the tabernacle, is considered bloodshed. Those people will be cut off from their people. This was to address the Israelites that made offerings on their own or were dedicating their offerings to other gods. God reemphasizes to refrain from eating blood. This even extends to visitors that are there for any period of time among the Israelites. So in verse 13, God says when the Israelites or a stranger is hunting or catching beasts or birds, to pour out the blood and then cover it with dust. In verse 11, God explains the life of the animal is in the blood, which is what makes an atonement for the soul. Any animal that dies naturally, then is eaten by an Israelite or visitor inhabiting with them, is required to wash their clothes, bathe in water, and be unclean until the evening. He is sinful if he fails to follow these instructions. Some highlights. In the Bible, in verse 7, God says that they should no more offer their sacrifices unto devils whom they have gone a whoring. So some of the Israelites have been making sacrifices to other gods. And either they have been making sacrifices to other gods, or they've been making sacrifices and not taking the offering to the priest for the correct procedure. So just to think about the average Israelite, if you wanted to make an offering, right? And you think about all that the priest was responsible for. So there may be a wait time no matter when you go. If Aaron is the main person, we see that he had a couple of relatives, but it just kind of seems like Aaron is being the main one addressed here. So he's responsible for all these other people that have to make their offerings. He also has to monitor leprosy. He also has to help make atonement for childbirth. And so after losing both of his sons, this might be time consuming. And so the Israelites, some of them might just be like, I'll just make my atonement at home. And then I also don't have to give the priest a cut, because a cut of the offering belongs to the priest. So, and then you think about it, what if, the breast and the thigh, or the breast and the leg, shoulder or thigh, what if that's the best part? What if you want to eat that, You're going to have to wait in a long line behind the people. What if you had to just come monitor someone for leprosy? Now you've got to take your animal there and have him do the whole ritual. And you might just say, hey, I want to eat the lamb shoulder this time. I want to eat the goat shoulder and the breast. I don't want to give it to him. I want to eat it myself. So you just make your own sacrifice. But even then, that would have been breaking God's laws, because the offerings are only supposed to be eaten by the priest. But, I mean, either way, God is addressing this. In verse 13, God is distinguishing offering an animal death for other reasons. The only law is to refrain from consuming blood. A visitor who is living among the Israelites for a short period of time, or an Israelite, both are supposed to pour the blood out and cover the blood with dust, because the blood has the life in it. So, eating bloody meat, just because it makes the meat a little bit easier to chew, well, it's repeated several times in here, in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 10, Leviticus chapter 7, 26, Leviticus chapter 3, verse 17, and Genesis chapter 9, verse 4 explicitly states, each one of these explicitly states, do not eat blood. 4 times. And in my Leviticus chapter 6 video, I said that Leviticus chapter 6, verse 30 is saying that the blood offering, don't eat the blood. But that is not what Leviticus chapter 6, verse 30 is saying. That verse, or that chapter, Leviticus chapter 6, verse 30, is saying that no sin offering should be eaten. It's just that the blood is mentioned. I mean, the blood shouldn't be eaten either, but no sin offering should be eaten. So that's something that I didn't realize that I messed up on until I went looking for do not eat blood, which is commanded 4 separate times so far. And so this is another reason why I say, like, everyone needs to read for themselves. Like, sometimes people get so angry with Christianity and they just blame Christians for their problems. Oh, well, I didn't have a preacher that taught me. Okay, but how much did you read? Did you ever get in the Bible and read past Adam and Eve? Because if that's the only thing you can talk about, then you're not doing enough on your end to ensure that you're not getting inaccurate information. It doesn't matter if you study this with a study guide, you're bound to miss something because you're human. And you think of all that a pastor has to do, which is why I keep talking about Aaron, because these religious officials, they're not just responsible for just preaching. If they go out somewhere and somebody notices them and wants to have a really, God-filled conversation, they kind of got to do it. Like, they have so many other responsibilities other than just being a pastor. And especially if they have a family, they're married, their responsibilities are exponential. And so if you rely on a person who has so much to do to be your only source to God, remember, Moses was the plug to God. God spoke to Moses and spoke to Aaron through Moses. Moses isn't noted as being busy like this. He's able to just, whenever God wants him to talk to him, he's available. We haven't even heard about Zipporah and his sons anymore. So, I mean, I guess maybe we'll see about that in the future, but I just hope people start taking accountability for their spiritual life instead of always looking to someone else to explain something to them. It's a good start to read with someone, but if you're not getting into it yourself, reading and meditating on it yourself, as I'm going back and sometimes I see stuff that I missed or that I didn't say correctly. And then I want to bring it up later, but I mean, it's not the same. So I just really hope that anyone who's watching this decides to take control of your own spirituality and read the Bible for yourself. As pastors, they're not trying to be wrong, but sometimes you're human. You're going to err. You're going to think you hear from God, and you have goals, you have dreams, you want things to work. So I know that I feel like I've heard God wrong before. I feel like I have messed up. And just the fact that God has still been so good to me and so saved me so many times when I wasn't even interested in what he wanted to say to me or what he wanted me to do. And there have been times God has saved me, provided me a blessing. I would go right back to sinning like the next day. And for him to keep me here and to keep me intact with some of the things that I've been through, I'm just forever grateful. And there's nothing that will make me feel discouraged enough to stop reading or to stop believing in my God. So, uh, my spirituality is my responsibility, and I have my own connection to God. And nobody is ever going to shake my faith and make me doubt myself, because when God saved me, he didn't say, hey, you need to stop wearing that makeup. You need to change your hair. You need to change your personality. You need to stop wearing that. That's what people said. God saved me, and he didn't tell me anything. He just did it because he loved me. And I'm forever grateful, and I'll forever honor him. So, thank you so much for watching up until this point. The next upload will be Leviticus chapter 18.